Do you ever just get emotional for no reason? Like it's
For no reason?
I feel like, dude, I get moody sometimes, and I will just something will hit me, and I will get.
I think something has to hit me. It's just not like I don't start crying.
But like sometimes I'll watch like a happy video of like a soldier coming home.
Yeah.
Or
those will make me emotional for sure.
But just like a video that's supposed to make you feel good will make me cry.
But like, is it cry in a sad way or a happy way?
It's like a sad way. And it's like a weird, sometimes they hit me weird.
All right.
And emotional, dude.
Sure. I mean, like dumb things will hit me sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
You're an emotional boy.
I'm just an emotional, sad boy. But you're listening to the Moist Monday podcast.
I was going to say, happy Moist Monday.
Yeah, happy Moist Monday. We're cheersing. Check this out. Ooh, that was a decent one for the Iowa Premier Beer, Wine, and Food Expo glasses that we're drinking out of.
I have a amateur Bragus.
What does that mean?
I don't know. That's what it says. Amateur Bragus.
You don't even know what it is, and it's your glass.
I don't know if it's mine.
You got it out of your kitchen.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of glasses just from places and people. She gets them from her bar, and then one of my friends gave me just a ton of different glasses. I
mean, they're cool glasses, but it's like, I don't know what it is. It probably means like, love the devil in German or something.
I mean, I know my, what's that called?
An ashtray?
Yeah, my ashtray says fear God in Latin on it.
That's kind of cool. And you're ashing into it, because ash is really close to ass, which is a curse word, which is how you get to hell.
There you go.
Full circle, baby. Speaking of full circle, it's the Moist Monday podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Happy Monday.
Happy Moist Monday,
Happy
buddy.
Monday, everyone. Thanks for listening. We are deep into the double digits of episodes. I don't know the exact episode number,
neither.
but we're deep in the double digits.
Yeah, hopefully we don't have to delete any more that haven't come out yet.
I'm sure we might have to delete one or two.
Yeah, there's one that we might have to. We'll see if it comes out.
There was one that we were pretty drunk and we got pretty personal, and
we'll probably release it.
Yeah, who cares? Who cares? Maybe I'll get that one done, and then we'll listen to it together
and judge.
And then judge, because that's
a lot.
We were really drunk, but it was fun, dude.
Yeah.
But speaking of full circle, hit the music. Welcome back to the Moist Monday podcast. How's everyone doing? Happy Monday. If you're listening to us not on Monday, what are you doing? Monday's in the title, okay? You can only listen to us on Monday. So quit listening.
Be moist.
Yeah. You can only be moist on Monday. So quit listening to this on a Tuesday. Daryl, I see you over there at work putting in carpet. Daryl's over there in West Virginia putting in carpet. Yeah. It'd be so funny if I literally just called someone out and they're like, "What the?"
6 years later,
they're like, "What the fuck?"
He stops stapling carpet
and he just starts crying. That would be so funny.
I would love to get famous enough to do that kind of shit.
To do like bits where
you just say a name in a place. And
how you doing, Aaron in West Florida? Yeah, looking at you, buddy. Like.
Give them time to look
It'd be
around.
so funny. I can just picture like someone's listening to a podcast, they're working on stuff, and then all of a sudden, and then they would pause. They go, "What? How do they know I'm here?" But speaking of knowing you're here,
yeah,
this is not a good transition. But I do want to. So in today's episode, which by the time you hear this episode will be come way after, but we talk about kissing.
Okay.
And you do mention this, but we never got to it. So I'm really curious. Your worst kiss. Because you teased it.
Yeah.
You teased it in today's episode, and I really want to talk about, like, what's the worst kiss you ever had? Because I think you had one primed. And now that I've had time to think about it, I don't know if it's my worst kiss, but it's definitely where I was like, ooh, this is weird.
It's the one time I've really noticed someone was a bad kisser. And it was...
Oh, so it wasn't you.
Right, yeah.
Oh, it's not me, it's you.
No, it was something like this person did. And the thing, like, it's not bad on its own. So what they did was our first kiss and every kiss we ever had, and we went on a few dates, is full tongue first kiss.
Ugh.
Every kiss, tongue.
Just full.
Like in your mouth, out your mouth. Every single kiss.
That's too much. I don't like too much of that. It's fun when you're like deep making out, but But like,
tongue is
yeah.
what 1 in 10 use.
Yeah, every time.
Yeah, every first kiss, tongue.
I do feel like tongue applies to a lot of bad kisses because tongue kind of relates to mine.
You got to be like, you got to.
So your first kiss, like it was like a normal
with
like
this person.
yeah, normal kiss, and she used tongue.
Yep.
Like she just
Slurped
her tongue.
So yeah, the first time me and this girl kissed, and every time after had tongue.
Did you ever say anything? Like,
I don't think so.
How did you? So like when that happens, do you like rep? What's that word? Like
reprimand her?
no, like where you see her energy and you go, okay, I'm tonguing her back. You know.
I don't think the way she tongued. I don't think you could tongue back at the same time. I think it was just like
she was going full offense all the time.
Frog, just like bleh, every time.
Yeah, do you think she still kisses like that?
I bet she was probably mid-20s when I met her.
Oh my god!
So she'd been doing that maybe 10 years.
Dude, that would throw me off. I'd be like, what the heck's happening?
Yeah, and I saw her like a few times.
But like, you probably go with it.
I mean, like I really
like. I'm guessing she was
time.
pretty cool and pretty cute.
Yeah.
And like, so like, it's like, oh man, this is your red flag. You tongue when you kiss. Okay, I'll look past it. I'll get used to it all day.
And just find all the other red flags and then stop seeing her.
Yeah. What were the other red flags that she had? Let's narrow it down. No, we don't have to. I'm just kidding. We'll move in to. So I don't know if this is my worst kiss, but this is definitely like.
If you say me, I'll swear to God.
I thought you were gonna say me for a second. We just pecked, okay? We just Josh pecked. That's a good joke.
What?
Josh Peck?
Oh God. Okay.
You didn't get it.
No, I didn't.
It was a good joke. It was a good joke. You know it's a good joke when you have to say it's a good joke.
We have to re-explain it
Comedy.
and then say.
Yeah, comedy.
Comedy.
But I don't think I've ever had like a bad kiss, like that tongue aggression.
That's the only bad kiss I can think
But I remember this kiss in particular being thrown off guard.
of. Okay.
So there was this girl I dated on and off for 5 years. You know about her.
Yes. We talked about her in.
Yeah, we've talked about her probably in every episode because still dealing with it. No, I'm pretty good after this, but it was a big part of my life. Yeah. 5 years. I have a lot of stories from it. Obviously, went through a lot of monumental things with her.
Because you don't get over it, you move past it.
You move past it. Like it's still part of you, and it's still your memories, and it's still what you base on every relationship. You know, it's like
when you're dating for that long during that period of time, it's purely a building block of you.
Yeah, it really is because we started dating.
We
started dating in our teens and went into our early 20s. Like that's very.
It shaped you.
Yeah.
So it's okay for you to not forget it.
Yeah, because it was the longest relationship I've ever had.
And it's, yeah.
Yeah. But so we were on and off a lot. You know, we were toxic for each other. But one of the later times when we got back together, we went on this trip to Nashville.
Okay.
Which was really cool. We went for her birthday.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go.
She had always wanted to go too. And I was like, hey, let's go for your birthday. And I planned the itinerary. I planned every day. This is what we're going to do every day. It was freaking awesome. And it was just like, we were kind of talking, but she was kind of talking to other people. And this is my way to be like, look what I'm doing for you.
Yeah.
Let's fucking come back to me, baby.
Yeah, this will make you want to stay with
But then
me.
I remember crying on the drive because I was like, I'm pretty sure you're talking to other people. And I'm driving to Nashville right now. Like, she was asleep. And I was like, yeah. But there's a lot of trauma. There's a lot of we don't.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, dude.
You're just sitting next to your sleeping girlfriend and be like,
Because we weren't, I don't know if we were like, officially dating at that point. We had just started talking again, and I knew she was talking to other people, so I was just like wasting my fucking time. But it ended up being a great trip.
that's good.
But I remember this moment. We camped for the first couple of days, and you know, the campground bathroom showers.
Yeah.
So we took showers together, obviously, because we'd been dating for a couple of years, so it was just a common thing.
Yeah.
And I remember we were making out in the shower, and this was like probably the first time we've kissed since we got back together.
Oh.
So it's been a couple months.
You drove to Nashville and then kissed?
Yeah. And, well, maybe we did like small kisses, but this was like the first like real makeout, you know? She started doing all these moves that she had never done before.
Oh.
Like very like, because I knew how we kissed. I knew how we did it. And then she started doing all this new stuff with like tongue and all this like weird shit that I was like, you're kissing way different.
So it's a bummer knowing that she had tried. Or she
that's
learned new things.
that's the weird part that threw me off. I was like,
that is weird
because I knew how she kissed, and then when she started kissing me, I was like, oh, you've learned this
it's a
from
reminder
other people,
that,
and now you've adapted and you kiss differently, and it's weird, dude. It threw me. I was so like, what is? And it was very tongue heavy.
That is a interesting thing to notice in that situation.
That was probably the weirdest fucking thing because I was like, I don't know how to.
I wonder how different you kiss now.
I feel like I'm like a very mild kisser. You know, like I don't use a lot of tongue. I'll like kind of reciprocate. That's the word. So if people use tongue, then I'll dabble with the tongue. R-E
Yeah.
word.
No, I said reprimand because I felt like the idea of me yelling at her because of
That'd be so funny. Hey, take your tongue out of my mouth.
stop it.
But it would in real life it'd be like, oh, the tongue out of my mouth.
Hey, stop it.
Yeah, because your tongue's in your mouth, so you can't talk. But that moment, dude, it was so.
So it was a bad kiss because of what it meant.
Yeah, and it was like a full circle, being like, oh,
We really did spend time apart.
we really did spend time apart, and I barely dabbled with other people, and you
Obviously.
fully dabbled with other people, and here I am naked in a shower with you in Nashville.
Realizing this.
Yeah, it was like yikes. It was a weird, but then like it was that moment, and then I moved on, and then it was fine, but it was definitely like things have changed.
Yeah.
The seasons have changed.
How long did you guys stay together after that?
So I think this was the start of the last time we were together.
Okay.
I think it was the Nashville trip, which was a cool trip. We only went for like 4 or 5 days. It was like right before Thanksgiving because her
decently
birthday's
long.
near Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And then we did a lot of cool stuff. A lot of really cool stuff. Went to some really cool like breakfast places. Went to a lot of museums. We went hiking. That was really cool. We saw Lady Bird.
Okay.
Lady Bird that just came out.
Yeah.
We went hiking one day, like an hour out from where we were staying, and
Yeah.
then came back. Drove an hour. We were exhausted from hiking, and we drove an hour back to the town.
do a
And we were like,
movie?
"Hey, let's go to a movie."
On vacation?
Yeah, but it was fun because we went to a theater we had never been to.
I guess,
and it was like a
yeah.
really like fancy theater, and we went
I've
and we
done
saw
that on
Lady
vacation.
Bird.
Good movie.
And I was like, it was just cool. It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
But that was like the start of, because I think when we came back, that was when we kind of maybe had the talk, maybe. Or maybe it was like after I went home, then I was like, hey, what are we doing? Because
yeah.
that's a big trip. And it was like,
With an unclear ending, yeah.
yeah, 5 days sleeping together every night. Not like sex. I mean, we probably did, but like,
Probably, yeah.
like literally, it was cold outside, so we were tight against each other.
Yeah.
All the
Camping.
time. Yeah,
In-
camping.
Yeah, November. Shit.
Yeah, it was cold. We literally, the first night we had to sleep in the car. It was too cold. We didn't bring enough stuff. So we had to go to Shields and we
buy.
bought like a -degree 2-person sleeping bag, which I still have. It's such a comfy sleeping bag.
I've never been.
I'll show you it. But then
You'll
she,
show me it.
yeah, we'll get in it. We'll get in it. It's
We'll do a podcast from it.
we're just really, we're like, would we do butt to butt? Like, how would we?
That'd probably
No,
be
two
best.
people. It's such a big sleeping bag. 2 people can lay on their backs in it.
Wow.
It's a great. But then she bought this like weird like metal sheet blanket that we put over us to keep it's like a heat
An emergency kind of
heat
blanket.
capture.
Yeah.
And like literally it got so hot that like condensation was dripping from the blanket because of like our breathing and stuff.
Yeah.
So like I had to pop a foot out to get a
And
little
the foot was just freezing.
just to
Yeah.
but it was
To
fucking
balance
freezing.
it,
But it
yeah.
was so crazy, like the difference, and then it was like warm and comfortable. We were in like shorts and a t-shirt in the sleeping bag with that thing over us.
Are you big on camping?
I enjoy camping, but I don't do it as much as I want to.
See,
I really do like sitting by a fire. I do like hiking. I do like getting
Yeah.
off the grid. Like every time I go, usually I like to shut off my phone and like
Yeah.
really like, you know.
So I like hiking, but I have no need to sleep in a tent.
Well, if you get like the right setup where it's not like you're on the ground, like a cot or like an air mattress,
Sure. Yeah.
then it's fine.
That's
or we
fair.
would bring a ton of blankets, you know, because we did sleep on the floor, but it was a ton of blankets with like cushions underneath us, so it was actually pretty comfortable.
Okay.
But it like half the backseat was blankets. Like we brought so many.
Well, because a lot of times, like if I'm traveling alone, I don't mind sleeping in my car.
Yeah, but I like putting up a tent, you know, and I like.
I never like the actual activity of building a tent.
Oh well, I was a Boy Scout.
Oh,
Never finished,
okay.
you know.
Were you a
but
Boy Scout or a Cub Scout?
I was a Cub Scout going into Boy Scouts,
Oh,
so I
see,
made it through the first. What is it? I was Tenderfoot, and then I was the next one after that.
See, I never made
There's
it
like all these phases going up to Eagle.
because I only made it to Cub Scout. I never made it to Boy Scout.
Oh, you didn't evolve. You're still a cubby.
Yep,
Makes sense.
forever.
And I'm a boy.
It'll be on my tombstone.
The Cub Scout. The-
Remembered as a Cub Scout.
dude, no joke. Dude, that'd
so
be so
fun.
funny if that's how people remember you. Dude, no joke.
Like I write that into my will. Like I want to be remembered by my greatest
That
accomplishment.
reminds me, this is so funny. We make fun of this all the time. Wes was driving home one day from work, and
Okay.
he saw on the back of a pickup, you know how some people have on pickups like in memoriams?
Yeah.
They had an in memoriam for like this guy, like the dates and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And like the tagline was "Born to Yell Bingo." That,
What?
yeah, it's so funny.
What is
Like
that?
that's his legacy. He was born to yell bingo.
What does that even mean?
We joke. Well,
You bring that up a lot.
yeah, because then I always say like, what if he like had a partial and he just went Ingo, born to yell Ingo, like. But we always joke like maybe he was a drunk old senile man and he never actually played bingo, but he would just yell it bingo. Like that's just a funny thing to picture. Born to yell bingo. Like how is that your legacy?
Loves yelling it.
Because I'm guessing he only did that in the last couple years of his life.
Right.
I had known nothing about this man. It's just such a funny thing to be remembered for.
But the idea that he played bingo made you think that he was an old man when he died, which makes it weird that he has an in memoriam on a truck.
It must be his granddaughter.
But you think in memoriams are usually for like more younger tragic deaths.
Yeah, what if it was a kid and he just was born to yell bingo?
That's
even worse.
Because that's what I pictured at first. I'm like, who?
I'm guessing it was an old man. I didn't see it, so
Right,
I don't know. But that's just.
If you ever find yourself behind that car, email us.
Yeah, I would love to see that picture. But
Moist Monday
dude,
Podcast
okay, we're getting
at
serious now that
gmail.com.
we're bringing this up. But like,
Are we?
well, I had a question leading into this.
Okay,
Like,
okay.
if you were to be like remembered, if you were on the back of a truck in
Yeah.
memoriam, born, what would it say?
Born, like I have to. It
Like
has to be that.
what is your legacy? Is that what this guy's legacy was? He was born to yell bingo.
Well, because like for me, I'd want it to probably say Jacob the Freak, right? That's what I most classify myself as currently.
So it would just say freak show performer.
Maybe
Born to be a freak show performer.
born to be a freak. I don't mind that.
Born to be a freak. That's pretty
That's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
What about you?
Born to be funny. I think I just really want to be funny.
I get that, and I feel the exact same way. But,
But is that like
doesn't it feel like you're forcing it at that point? Born to be funny.
like I'm trying too hard, but I'm not. Like I don't. I mean, I do want to be funny, but I feel like I'm not. I don't know. It's maybe it's also an ego thing. Like maybe I think I'm so funny that like that's how people will
That's
remember
the best
me.
way to
And
remember you.
in all honesty, it's just like born to be annoying because I was trying so hard to be funny.
That's a fine line. It's a hard one to justify or tell.
But I would like to like that's how I like it like
That's how you want to be remembered,
Like-
which is fair because I think that's actually probably how I most want to be remembered too.
which
as
is like
being,
kind of a
funny or
selfish
clever.
thing, but then it's like that's so
The
stupid
idea
because
is
it's
like you want to make other people laugh.
yeah, and it's like that's how people because he was funny because he told jokes. It was like
That's not bad though.
yeah, but it's like when you think about it, it's like at least this guy liked bingo.
Is that better?
I don't know. I don't know.
think so.
I don't know. But I just like picture at like my funeral, people telling funny jokes
yeah.
that I've said.
I think they tell funny stories about you. I don't want to reread a joke you've told me.
It'd be so funny. Hey, at my funeral, can you just play a clip from the podcast where I was the most funniest? That'd be so funny. It's just a funny reel.
I'll just host a clip show of our podcast.
Dude, yes. All right, and here's where he made me mildly laugh. Here we go.
Roll the tape.
Roll the tape.
Elysia, can you pull that up?
Oh, she's documenting it.
Yeah.
I slid her 100 a couple
She'll
weeks
be at
ago.
the funeral.
Yes, if you guys ever want to meet Elysia,
Wait.
she will be at my funeral, not at Jacob's, because they fight a lot.
Yeah, she doesn't really like me.
I'm actually really close with her. I'm thinking about inviting her over. No, I'm just kidding. You're not coming over. She's a mess. I hate her. All right, so I'm actually really curious because I don't think I've ever asked you this.
Okay.
So, I mean, you just told me that you're not performing tomorrow.
Right.
But you were supposed to perform tomorrow.
I had an option to
But like
perform
this
tomorrow.
is like my question. Like if you were to perform tomorrow, how would you be feeling today / tomorrow? And how do you prepare for a freak show performance? Like I'm really curious about that.
So I guess
Like do you have to get in like a mental space?
so at this point, if I had a show tomorrow,
If let's say you have a show tomorrow night, you have a day, you have 24 hours. All right. How are you feeling right now?
because if it's for the show that I would have tomorrow, which is a show I've done a lot, it's someplace I'm more comfortable. I don't really plan at all for it besides making the basic things I need to, like making sure that like
Like a checklist kind of or
kind of it's more like make sure all my tools are charged that I need to because I do human blockhead with a power drill, which is I can run it through my nasal cavity.
yeah.
I would just make sure I have everything I need, make sure my stapler's loaded.
Because you kind of run through the same
It's-
set list, you know.
Basically, yeah. And like I don't know, and then like I would get to the show and I would try and find a person to like stand on me while I'm the better nails.
Oh yeah, because it's a different person every time. Which
I
is
try
cool.
to switch it up, yeah, just for like photo ops and just it's fun to include new people. Tomorrow I'd probably right before I went on stage, I would do a little nasal spray just because I have allergies a little bit right now.
Oh, just to like loosen up the cavity.
Just
or something?
yeah, open you up a little bit. Partially also just so I can talk clearer, but also just so I could breathe better and like hammer a nail.
And you're
in,
putting
yeah.
shit in your nose.
Yeah, so it's like a nice little cheat to have the nasal cavity more open. That's why I often do a shot of Fireball right before.
Oh, to really clean
It
out your...
opens you up, yeah.
Whoa, that's
like
what you do Fireball because of the cinnamon?
Yep, because I
Yeah.
don't like cinnamon. Like, I don't like Fireball, but like that shot, same, like if you take that when you're sick, it like
That's
with a
kind of
cold,
cool.
it
You
kinda
have
helps.
you have a thing that you do before you perform that you don't even enjoy, but it helps you
Yeah.
perform better. And it kind of loosens you out.
Which
It's
is a weird
alcohol.
part of kind of like all of Freak Show, like because I don't technically enjoy being stapled, but I like the act.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Like I
Yeah, because it's just not like, oh, I'm at home, let me staple myself.
right, yeah, it's not fun, but it's fun to entertain people with. It's a weird. The whole thing's a weird.
That's because
aspect.
you're getting the like, oh, what the heck? You're getting those reactions.
Yeah, yeah, like
If you're
it's-
just at home stapling yourself with no reaction, you're like, maybe I'm a freak.
well, it's because the thing about like Freak Show or sideshow performances, it's not fun to practice. And
Yeah,
besides,
I mean,
like,
but fireballs, maybe those are fun to practice.
yeah, well, and those are important to practice because you can fuck them up. But like,
Well, and also you can't do those at a lot of venues, so it's like,
well, yeah, that's another point. But like, there's no point in me practicing the better nails routine because like I can lay on it and it'll just hurt me, but there's no like trick to it, so there's nothing for me to like.
yeah, it's just pain.
As long as I make
It's not like you're trying to practice a bass line or a,
yeah, as long as I can lay on it and I'm okay, that's all I need to know. So I can then definitely do that on the stage. And like blockhead, where you hammer nails into your nose, you want to make sure you're comfortable doing it, but it's a lot harder. It's harder to do on your own without a crowd because like if I did it right now, it maybe wouldn't go all the way in just because I'm not really feeling it.
Yeah, and you would probably hurt a little bit more.
Yeah, it would hurt a little bit more. Your body kind of like
Because
locks
you're
up a little bit
forcing
more.
it, but you're not in the right mindset, and you're not feeding off energy.
Yeah,
It's
so-
a lot of things.
Yeah, like things hurt more by yourself than in front of a crowd. And because they hurt more, then like your body isn't as open to doing it, so it like fights it more.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so a lot of it I don't practice
That's
unless
crazy.
I'm in an
so literally
instance-
just performance is your practice for the next performance.
a lot of the times,
the most-
yeah. Like I'll try and think of like jokes and like a routine and like things to say to the crowd.
Oh, really? You try to like kind of plan that stuff?
A little
Loosely?
bit, yeah, loosely. If
I guess like you come up with small bits. Like I remember one time you came up with that name tag bit. Now you're doing it every time where you staple
Mm-hmm.
the name tag on, and that was a cool idea because you were like, "Hey, I've never done this before. I'm just gonna do it on stage for the first time ever."
well, because like I know I can be stapled, but there's no point in being stapled at home to practice for it. It's gonna hurt at home. It'll hurt on stage.
And I like that bit.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're legit getting stapled, but it's a name tag,
It's a
and then you both do it too, which is cool.
Yeah, I mean, this to open up the stapling bit is nice because it's a routine people can understand. You've operated a stapler. You've thought like, oh, this would probably hurt to get in me,
Oh, dude.
but like where bed of nails isn't something you can relate to. Just being like, oh, that
I've
probably
never
hurt.
laid on nails.
Yeah.
Dude, real quick, I have a story. So at work we use like pinners, to like
Yeah.
pin wood up, and micro pinners and stuff. Micro pinners are just like the smaller
Are they like a small nail gun?
smaller nailers. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
for like when you're doing like finish stuff, so the holes aren't as big.
Okay, yeah.
So I was working. This was last week, and I was working and I was putting up some crown, and it's like finished crown, So you want the holes to be small, so then you just touch them up with wax.
Okay.
But I was using a different gun than my own, and my pinner has two triggers on it. One is the safety trigger,
Yes.
and then once you hold that down, then you're able to pull the fire pin.
Okay.
So I was using a different pinner that didn't have that safety thing.
Oh, so you just pulled it?
So I just literally, because I was so used to putting one finger down right before I was getting ready, I was literally in this position where I had the gun like pointed at my left hand, holding the piece.
Yeah.
And I went to go like prep it.
Yeah,
And
so-
I shot my hand.
With a tiny nail?
Yeah, no joke. I didn't know. It went right into this knuckle. And I'm on a ladder. I'm putting up crown. Dude, and I literally went, oh! And it like went deep, but then like just this nail sticking out of my hand.
Yeah.
And it hurt. Like it was right at the knuckle joint.
Yeah.
It hurt so bad because I didn't expect it, obviously. And I'm like holding a piece and I was like, oh. And then like my boss was like down by the ladder, like kind of helping me.
Yeah.
So I just like acted like it didn't
Did
happen.
you like bite it out? Or
No.
what?
So then I just like kept it in my hand and put up the crown.
Oh my
And
God.
like and this nail sticking out of my hand.
Yeah.
And I finished putting up the piece.
Is it bleeding?
It's not bleeding yet because it's
Okay.
still in there. You know, it's still in there. I finished putting up the piece. I get off the ladder. I'm like breathing because it fucking hurts because I
Yeah.
shot myself with a nail because it's an air compressed gun, dude. It's like,
It's so funny.
and it was like, oh, but I like because I was like, I didn't want to be embarrassed. Like, that's
Or
just-
like you could technically get in trouble for hurting yourself on a job site.
yeah, but I didn't want to be like embarrassed because I'm kind of still green. I'm kind of still fresh
Yeah.
at this job, so I didn't want to. So I was just putting up this piece of ground with a nail sticking out of my hand. Just,
That's awesome.
all right, let me finish this up. And then like once I climbed off the ladder, my boss went away, and then I pulled the nail out, and I was like, oh fuck, it hurt so bad. And then it started bleeding really bad, and like so. What I do when I cut myself at work is I just use blue tape, like painter's tape.
Yeah, and just wrap it a bunch.
But the problem is that it was right on my knuckle.
Oh,
So like,
anytime
how do you
bent it,
how do you
pulled it
tape
off.
that? So like,
Yeah.
I had to tape myself so many different ways.
Yeah.
And it was bleeding. It started bleeding a lot because it was deep. I mean, it was a small hole, but it was just deep.
Yeah, in your hand.
Yeah. Can you imagine if the gun would have been a little bit closer? It would have gone further in.
Ugh.
Because dude, there's a lot of pressure in those guns because
shoot
it
it
goes
through
through
wood,
wood.
yeah.
Yeah. It hurt so bad. And then like later on in the day, I had tape on my finger. My other coworker was putting up some crown, and he went to go grab that gun, and he like pulled the trigger because we're all used to the
Yeah.
safeties.
That's
And
crazy.
it went into the cabin, and he was like, "Oh fuck!" And I was like, "Oh yeah, there's no safety on that." Like it was like, but I was like, dude, I shot myself in the hand earlier, and I showed.
God, I wish you would have gotten a photo of the
Oh
nail
my
sticking out of your hand.
dude, it hurts so bad. I should have taken a photo,
Just through the pain.
but like, why was I embarrassed? And like, I'd finished doing what I had to do with a nail.
That's awesome.
Because it like stuck out like that far, like
Holy
probably 2
shit.
inches out of my
Jesus
hand. Yeah,
Christ.
just, all right, let me finish putting on this crown while I'm holding my breath.
Yeah. Fuck.
It was rough. That's my comparison to freak show
I
stuff.
mean, that's probably worse.
yeah, because I didn't expect it.
Also, you shot a nail in your. I just get like stapled, which is 2 tiny holes. The annoying thing is,
yeah, and staples are a lot smaller than like a pinner.
yeah, and like the annoying part is I bruise from it, which it takes a lot for me to bruise. Like I have to really get hit, but those always bruise up.
But do you like that image? Because every time they bruise up, you show me.
I think it's funny.
You
Yeah.
brag about it. You go look at it.
Yeah.
And you're also like,
Well,
you're also like flexing when you do it too. So it's like you're trying to show off your
I
body.
got a little belly right now, but I like the little staple like holes, just because you can like the little scars because it's like 1/4 inch apart. You can like see both holes.
Do
I
you
think it's funny.
think? I mean, obviously they heal over time, but like when you get older, you're just gonna have marks
I mean,
everywhere.
I've had this. There's this line scar across my stomach right now, and it's from I had a cinder block broken on me. But like, if you see like this line,
Yeah.
that's from the edge of the cinder block, just when he hit it with the sledgehammer.
Turning in.
Yeah. And like it's been a
Is
scar.
that from the last time you performed? So like a month
I think
ago?
a month and a half ago, because my last show was 2 weeks ago, I think.
Oh yeah.
'Cause
yeah.
yeah, 'cause
So I asked you like how you would prepare for like this show that you do monthly.
Yeah.
Is the preparation different for a different event like the one you did 2 weeks ago? Because it's a different area, it's a different stage, there's different people. Obviously, you kind of do like the similar stuff, but is there a different preparation phase?
Well, actually, I guess part of it is I am more secure in my routine if I'm doing a different place because.
Oh, really?
Well, because they
That's
haven't.
weird.
They didn't see my last routine. Because I go to one place once a month to do at least a routine, so I like it to feel like the energy to be a little different, I guess, or
Yeah,
like the
'cause
jokes.
it's
or the
usually the
talking.
same people.
So I like that to be a little different. So I guess I'm a little bit more secure in my general set during a different
Because you're like,
show.
oh, people haven't seen this, I
Yeah.
can kind of repeat stuff.
Because the only issue with like the last show I did is it's at a different venue and it was just a different setup than usually. Like usually I have a stage on like a little side area.
Yeah.
This one only had a back room, so I had to carry everything out.
And you
through-
carry in a lot of stuff, so you just keep walking back
And,
and
like,
forth during your performance time.
But also like during this show, there was a lot of like burlesque dancers. And I really didn't like going in the back room because like you get almost naked for burlesque. I'm like, oh, like singing on stage is one thing, but like being where you're like,
In the dressing room with
Yeah,
them, and they're like naked.
It was
but like
really-
also like
I just saw that on stage, but
but also like I get the awkwardness, but then you also are performing and you need access to the green room, and it's
But-
also like, and they're clearly comfortable with it, but then also I would be weirded out, and
It's-
I'd be looking at the floor away.
Yeah.
I would not make eye contact.
But also, I'm like, God, I have to get all this stuff, and it's like behind you. Like, yeah,
And it's like, hey, excuse me,
yeah,
half naked woman.
right, yeah, and I think we were the only guys on the show too.
Oh, really? And then the rest were just like burlesque dancers
Burlesque, magician, singers, drag.
or drag. Damn. That's
Yeah.
kinda,
So
that's
there's some
cool.
drag queens, but still.
Yeah, right on the edge.
Well, I mean, that's like, cause like men dressing as women, so their drag performer is a female.
So a drag queen is a man, and a drag
Gen-
king is a woman.
Generally.
It's the opposite.
Yes, generally.
Yeah, generally, because
'Cause-
obviously there's
Well-
some wiggle room. There's
Well-
there's a gray line.
Yeah, definitely. Because also, like,
But I guess I never really, because every time I think drag queen, they're usually dressed and performing like a woman
because usually it's
or feminine. Let me say they're performing more feminine for
Well,
drag women,
I think
drag queen.
Generally, the idea of queen means you're feminine, but it's often a gay man. But also, there's also like non-binary, pansexual, bisexual.
Yeah. But still,
Because it's being drag isn't trans. It's a performance, and it's It's like a character.
it's a
play.
character.
Yeah.
So most drag queens are probably, or most drag kings are probably female
yes,
because they're dressing up as a man to perform as a king.
They're dragging as I don't know what the term drag actually means.
I mean, I don't know much about drags, and this just could be ignorance. Because I don't know a lot
And
about it.
I'm giving what I know
Yeah,
as a
but, like,
general term.
Is there any? I'm sure there probably is, but is there a way to be a man and be a drag king, and you just dress up as a pretty man and do a performance, or is that a thing, or like you do a drag queen as a woman,
I've seen a lot of drag queen as women.
and what do they do? Just put on elaborate costumes and like
Costumes
so,
and a wig,
but then,
and it's still lip syncing. And they'll do like the.
but isn't that like
big,
right on the edge of burlesque? But
It's
burlesque
very
is like
close.
stripping.
which a lot of drag is pretty close to stripping.
Yeah, so I feel like I was just curious because usually it's the opposite, the role reversal.
I haven't seen a drag king done by a cis man, but I have seen a lot of drag queens that are cis women.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's just more common.
Yeah, drag stuff is it's cool to watch. It's
I like
entertaining.
it, yeah.
But it's also really weird.
There's such a big culture behind it.
Here's one thing we joked about this a while ago when we saw a drag show. Like they have this performance that they've worked on. They're lip singing or whatever. The money thing. This is the weird part for me is like
There's always tipping. It's part of the culture.
it's part of the culture, and it's like no other
Besides stripping.
side thing has money. But yet the weird thing for me is they have this performance. It's like doing freak show, and then someone's like handing you money, so you have to stop what you're doing. Middle of your act to grab the money, and if you ignore it, then it's rude. And
Well,
it's
it's
like,
also just weird because then there's just somebody standing up there holding
and most
$1.
of the time they just grab it and then throw it,
Yeah,
and
like-
then pick it up later.
Because, like, personally, if I did drag, I wouldn't want I would rather have like a tip jar. I don't want people handing me cash.
Yeah,
just
but
because
that's a part of the culture though. Is you grabbing it from them and like giving them
they
blowing them a kiss or something.
But they still have a choreographed dance.
I know that's
Like,
the weird
yeah.
part. That's what I don't understand in my head is like that messes up your whole routine, and then you got to wait for the next like key in the song, and then you go back into the dance.
Or,
like,
yeah, just a part
or
you
maybe
didn't
you're just,
choreograph.
or maybe you
put dance breaks in.
or maybe they just have loose dances where
Maybe.
they're just improving dances.
I guess
but
I
I feel
don't
like
know.
a lot of people they
It
would have.
seems-
It seems very
yeah.
choreographed because it goes with the music. That's one thing I don't understand about it, and it's kind of funny because it's like. I have this performance. I have this thing that I practiced at home
This is
in
what I'm
front of the
gonna
mirror.
do.
And then people start handing me money and I get thrown off, especially if it's your first time ever doing it. That
Yeah.
would really throw you off. But you're also getting cash fed to you. So
Also
it's
nice,
kind of,
yeah.
it's a double-edged sword. It's
Yeah, the
like,
worst part is I have to stop my dance to get money.
oh,
Yeah.
cool. And especially at a free show where you're not making money anyway. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, cool. I am making money.
Yeah, like the whole tipping requirement is so interesting in that part. Because also I didn't know that.
I'm
until
curious-
I started going
Yeah,
recently.
I'm curious like how that became a thing in drag.
I wonder how drag became a thing.
Yeah, because it's right on the edge of stripping.
I mean, it's close to stripping. It's close to burlesque.
Yeah, they're all very similar. But like,
It's a more underground type of dance show.
it's cool. I love watching it. Like when it's done well, it's done really well, and
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm always like blown away.
And we've got some good ones here in town.
Yeah, some really good ones. Some ones that I've
Yeah.
been way into.
Yeah, for sure. That's another thing. It's interesting. Like I've performed with like a drag dancer, and I've known them as their drag persona.
And then seeing them normal or seeing them as
Not even normal. It was like a drag queen, and then like I went backstage and like we had a conversation. And they like took their shirt off, and I forgot.
and you're
They're
like, oh, I can't look at your. Oh wait,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's man nipples.
Yeah, you're just a gay dude, and like we're buddies, and it's like I like a lot of them all truly forget who like they are not as a drag performer. It's interesting.
It's a character.
But like it's a big character too, though. Like a lot of them, like a lot of their social medias that I know is just the drag person.
Yeah, it's just,
I don't
it's
know
just
their
their
real
persona.
name.
And I wonder, do they have a site? No, because that's probably their thing. That's their thing, you know?
It seems like it's their main profile.
Opening a new beer.
I know they're so loud. I try to do it quietly earlier
Dude,
while you're
it's
talking.
Moist Monday.
True, yeah.
Obviously, we're going to be opening beers. But, dude, speaking of tipping, you mentioned, like, tip jar earlier and, like, stuff like that. Does that ever feel weird to you to put out a tip jar? Because I know, like, street performers and stuff do that. And some other, like, performers that are weird, you know, magicians and stuff have tip jars.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about that? Or is that, like, a weird thing for you?
So something I do.
Because I don't know anything about it.
Something I do that other freak show performers will do. I don't like a tip jar, but because I feel like I'm not actively earning it. Like
You are, though.
Yeah, no, you are. It's just like my personal thing because I know there's the option to do an act called the human tip jar, which is instead of like where I'll staple name tags to myself, you let audience members staple money to me.
But how do you initiate that? The start of that? Do you say,
You just
hey,
kind of announce that this is that part of the show.
and you just people know what that is? Or you
I
just
mean,
say,
you explain like if you want to tip us,
if you want to tip us,
staple
you
it.
can staple. And I feel like people will tip more, probably less dollar amounts, just so they can staple you.
Yeah.
Just so they can be a part of the act. And I feel like some people do this, and they like, look away, close their eyes while they staple you, which is scary, I feel like, because they could slip.
I usually try and put it because
Yeah.
like because the worst part about
Do you like being stapled in certain areas?
recently I figured out face one of the easiest to get stapled, but
Really?
as
Because it's all like cushiony meat, and
I
they're
don't
not
know,
bone
it's
or
just but the idea behind it is being like hey, you tell them like it has to be like a big bill. Like I got 20 stapled in my face recently.
Yeah, you can't be stapling ones.
$1,
on my face.
yeah.
One, you can do ones on my chest. You got to earn the
Even
face.
though like chest hurt.
And if you want to staple my ass, 50. That
I
should
would-
be a thing.
I
Right next
want-
to your tattoo.
that'd probably hurt way more. I bet because it's so fatty. I bet.
Yeah, but how? When you got the tattoo, did it hurt?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
It's-
weird.
Well, because it's like fatty, so it like digs in a little more. You have to like push a little.
Yeah,
harder.
but like I got a tattoo on the back of my.
That's muscle.
Oh.
I
Because
think
on the back of my calf, like, and I didn't feel a thing. I was so comfortable.
it's my back.
That's
of,
weird on the butt because it's like it's a squishy area.
Yeah, which I think is like I think.
I mean, you have a tiny butt. You have
Yeah,
a
true.
bony butt. So
Yeah.
maybe if you have like a big bodacious butt,
which means there'd be a lot of muscle in there too. So maybe that helps.
yeah, maybe if you are packing pounds in your butt, then you can take money to the
If you got a real dump truck back there, and you
yeah
wanna throw,
dump truck.
and you want to throw a bumper sticker on it.
Yeah, I love dump trucks, dude. I love how that's the reference to people with big butts.
I know because
A
I have no
dump-
ass. Do you have an ass?
I got a tiny little one.
But like probably bigger than mine.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But it's like I feel like men don't really have.
You could if you did some squats. I've had a nice ass before, and it was awesome.
I feel like I have decent legs
Yeah, you got good legs.
because I used to be like a casual runner.
Used to be. I used to be a
Running-
healthy person. I probably look good still.
All of my fat is just on my stomach.
And just from
It's just on the
drinking
front
and
part of
eating, yeah.
me. Like I feel like the rest of me, like my arms, my legs, my back, and everything is like it's still like in shape. It's just like it's just literally from drinking, probably.
Well, and there's also the idea that like people who are fatter, they're also way stronger too.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, like you think if you're a heavier person, your legs carry that. They squat it. They do.
Well, that's true. They're used to carrying around that weight
More
all day.
weight. So if you lose weight, a lot of times your legs are just fucking giant and strong.
Yeah, it's probably the legs, but not necessarily the arms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, like still there'd be more weight to
And it is
than
weird
you're
with like when
lifting.
you watch like those strong men that lift those. Have you ever seen those lifting competitions?
Well,
where
'cause
they gotta
they're-
lift those, and they're big fucking.
Well, they're
dudes,
not
dude.
ripped because
No,
they
but,
are
but
fucking
no, they are
barrels.
just they're barrels of men.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
know.
like I feel like there's got to be fat involved.
For sure, yeah.
But then it's like, dude, are you eating KFC Famous Bowls twice a day? Like, how do you get to that point? And also taking pre-workout.
You are eating so much and lifting so much because you're not on like a
'Cause you-
super strict diet.
yeah,
I mean,
you're trying to put on calories while
yeah, it's
burning
just,
calories. Well, I feel like you're not burning calories. I feel like you're just trying to put on muscle while putting on calories. I don't know much about fitness.
No, there's better podcasts for that.
Yeah, we're the podcast about everything and nothing.
All while we drink.
So we literally don't know what
It
we're talking about.
extends
We
the
talk about
nothing.
drag shows for a little bit, and we don't know any. I don't know anything about
I've
it.
just performed with them. Yeah, big fan.
I just know that one show because I was kind of confused on what drag meant for a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I was kind of confused on what it meant. And there was one time when I was really drunk and we were at a show and there was this drag queen
Yes.
performing, and I was way into them. And I was like, I didn't understand how it worked, and then I was like, oh, that's a dude.
Yeah.
But I was like infatuated with him.
Yeah. No,
And it confused me.
he's hot as fuck while he's as a she in drag. I think
That's why I
the right way
said
to say it,
dumb.
yeah.
Like I was like,
Yeah,
I don't know the right.
Because they're just a gay dude, as far as I know. But like the drag performance,
It definitely was awkward once the show ended because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I gave them like $50.
And
Pretty
we
I
bought
ti-
them a drink. Yeah.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
I was really drunk.
No, they're one of my favorite drags in the city.
Oh well, yeah, I mean, it was an
They're
fucking incredible performance. Like I was like, dude, this is gonna sound weird, but the legs,
Yeah.
the
And they can fucking death drop too, which
what's
is
a death drop?
that's where you like kick a leg out and you just fall like straight down.
Like a split?
No, it's like you go like you're basically on one leg as far as I know, and you stick your other leg up, and then you like your other leg just like kind of bends into you, and you just fucking
On your back? You land
hit
on your
the
back?
floor hard. But like if you do it properly, you're good.
Damn, that's like a wrestling move.
Yeah, I mean it's famous in like RuPaul's. Like yeah, the death drop is a big drag queen move.
This is gonna sound weird, and I really like the thing I'm gonna compare this to.
Okay.
Like I really like it.
Yeah.
Can you compare drag performances to pro wrestling?
In the theatrical aspect, yes.
I love pro wrestling.
I know you do.
It's so cool, especially like old school pro wrestling. But like,
I mean,
I
it's
feel like
like-
it's kind of similar because you're putting on a character. Obviously, it's not
You're not punching people.
or switching gender.
Yeah.
I mean, there have been a couple.
Really?
There have been a couple that kind of push the boundary and do a little weird stuff. But you put on this character, you go out on the ring, and you have these performances, these things done. Can you imagine if you're doing pro wrestling and people are up there handing you dollar bills?
Instead of just screaming at you.
Yeah, instead of holding signs that say 316.
I don't know. What
Yeah, that's Stone Cold.
Oh, okay.
That's his sign, 316. I'm just trying to picture like you got that pro wrestling.
If you
ring,
got a pro wrestling
wrestling
crowd.
ring, but they're tight against the ring and they're holding their hands through the ropes, handing you dollar bills while you do your wrestling.
That'd be fucking weird. Imagine if you got tipped at every job you did, but like tipped like a stripper or a drag queen.
Yeah, like what's the difference between like a rock band? Obviously, they're probably getting paid.
Yeah, they get paid more
But like you don't really get tips.
from anybody.
I mean, there's tip jars at the merch booth, but like people
That's
aren't
more
handing you
going-
money on the stage.
and I feel like the tip jar, it's more for the people selling merch, kind of,
Well, usually for smaller bands, it goes straight to the band.
because the band is the one selling the
Yeah,
merch.
but like
that is
a
interesting.
band is doing a set thing that they practiced and performed
On stage
but
for
yet
you.
a drag performance. And this is, I'm not trying to sound offensive here, is doing the same thing but lip singing to an already existent song.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like the band is doing a little bit more work
in a way, yeah.
in a way because they're actually playing the song. I mean, I
'Cause-
really like drag. But
Well,
like,
yeah, I mean,
but
the
it's
other
like
side-
they get tipped for it.
Yeah, the other side of drag is that they like choreograph a dance, make an outfit, all that. But yeah, they're both still
yeah.
stage performances, and it's interesting that you only get tipped.
Yeah,
for
like it's a weird, and that's just part of like that's what's known about drag is
it's very like
is
you
like
tip.
you tip no matter what.
It's the same with like a strip club. Yeah, you have to. If you go there, you have to tip. You're not supposed to just sit there and watch. It's that is weird that no other.
Yeah,
job-
isn't that weird? It's a very niched and like it's a no niche thing even if you're not in that.
Well, it's the same with like you tip at a restaurant, but you don't tip at a fast food place
Oh yeah, dude, this is weird. So
because it's weird.
I had this come up to me. So I went to go get coffee once. Mm-hmm. This is a couple days ago, and it was a drive-through coffee place.
Yeah.
If you know it, it's a chain. You know they're everywhere.
Okay.
Got my coffee. It was kind of expensive, because I got this really fancy drink.
Sure.
With an extra shot of espresso, just to feel good. It was like $7.
Yeah.
Very expensive coffee, but it was delicious. But when I go there, they like hand you the machine. Which they're doing weird COVID shit. They hand you the machine through a pipe, and you
Okay.
put your card in, and then there's an option to tip. And I always put none, and I feel like shitty. But then I'm also like, I'm just getting coffee. But then when I get coffee from our buddies, I always tip the most.
Yeah. Same.
But that's because I want to support him, and it just feels weird. But then when I'm at a restaurant, obviously I tip. It's just weird where
And you tip
places
at a
you
bar.
tip. I tip when I go to the barber shop.
yeah.
I tip $10 when I go to the barber shop.
I tip at a tattoo parlor too.
Yeah, and it's like, but then some places you don't.
Like,
why are there acceptable places to tip?
Because I wish
and then not.
I wish we never tipped and everyone just got paid more.
Yeah.
But like, because this is something I've always thought about. If I order a $10 meal or a $100 meal, as far as the waiter or waitress or serving person goes, their job isn't necessarily harder.
Yeah.
But the tip has to be a lot more because the meal was more.
Because of the percentage.
But like,
yeah, if you order
chicken strips or
chicken strips or a fucking lobster,
yeah,
you're still bringing out one plate, but the lobster was $40, chicken strips were $8, but you got to tip more because the food is more expensive. I've never thought about that, dude.
It's
or
weird.
Like if your bill is super expensive just because you're drinking fancier shit compared to like just a beer. When it's like you brought over one bottle which you would have had normally. I'm tipping more because of that.
Which is like the idea of like, or I could order a bunch of cheap stuff and you have to keep coming back, or I order one big thing and you come here once, but if the big thing is more expensive, I should tip more.
Yeah, that's weird.
Well, like it should be more like the time you spend in a place and how much you use the person.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't really get tipping at all, but I appreciate. I mean, know that it's needed for like restaurants and
I
servers
always
and
do
stuff.
at least the proper amount. But like just the theory of that, I think is so interesting.
Well, that's why I really like the start of Reservoir Dogs.
Okay,
Tarantino film.
Yes,
yeah.
I've never seen it, but
really, that's one of my favorite Tarantino films.
Yeah, because I haven't seen like 3 of his films.
That movie is incredible. I think it's one of his early films.
I think it's its first official film.
First official, yeah. He did a couple early stuff, but it starts off and they're in this diner.
Okay.
And they just had coffee and they're hanging out, and then like the bill comes and they pay it all separate. And Steve Buscemi's character, the guy is like, "Hey, I'll cover everybody. You just throw in a couple dollars to tip." Mm-hmm. Steve Buscemi's character says, "No, I don't tip."
Oh.
And like it's this whole bit about not tipping, and I'm pretty sure he's like, all she did was brought us coffee. Why would I tip that? And he's
is
like,
that the one where he's like, I've been here for 30 minutes and she only refilled my cup?
Yeah, she's only refilled my cup twice or something like that. And it's like
whatever the number is. Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, and before. It's like and it's kind of like perspective. And then they're like, no, just because that's what you do. It's like this thing, but it's like, but then he brings up like, why is that the thing? Because they get paid less, but that's not our fault. I mean, I'm just portraying the question. Obviously, I tip.
Well, like the fact that like it sucks that we have to tip because other countries don't. The idea is,
oh really? No. Other countries don't tip. Like if you go
Europe
to
doesn't.
Oh,
nope.
So if you go to a bar and leave a tip, they go, "Hey, sir, you left money on the table," or like
bars. I don't know, but I know the idea is like servers, you don't need to tip.
Is that because they make more money?
I'm assuming so. Yeah.
Weird.
Well, it's dumb to have. But like also I'm sure a lot of them like it because they end up making way more than they would if they just made an hourly wage.
Yeah. Dude, tipping's a weird thing. So I've been tipped a couple times at my job.
Me too.
And so have you, and that's a weird thing because it's like, how do you get to, I've never thought about tipping people that do what we do, like delivery drivers, carpentry. Like, why would you, I bought this package on the internet. It's here. Let me tip the guy who dropped it off. He doesn't even know what's in the box.
The only people who've tipped me ordered
heavy stuff
or a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because one lady, I remember she ordered 5 things and they all weighed like 70 pounds.
Oh my God. And you're going back and forth.
And I was super mad because she was watching me do it. Like she was standing outside and like she would like make a little comment every time. Like she was super friendly, but she'd be like, "Oh, it's a hot one today." I'm like, Yep, sure.
I got 4 more of these to carry up.
And like, I was like, it was steep enough that I had to walk like backwards to pull the dolly with the box in it up.
Oh my God.
And then, so
didn't she tip you like a lot though?
She like handed me a bill and I took it. I was like, thank you. And I put it in my pocket and walked away.
Yeah, you don't look at it. You look at it once you drive away.
Yeah. And then I got my truck $100.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That's over half of what I made that day.
That's insane, dude. And then you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
It gets weird because you don't even think about.
Well, what I was thinking was like, wow, I really disliked her while I was working because she was like watching me, and I hate when people talk to me at my job.
Yeah, because you're just trying to do what you do.
Yeah, and then she gave me $100.
That's so crazy, dude. It's weird because I would never think to.
No, it's their job.
It's their job, but also so is servers, but we tip them.
But we're aware that a part of their job is they need tips.
Yeah, but like
So that's the dumb part, is that we've built a society that requires
that
tips.
requires like, hey, we're gonna pay them less because you'll pay them more.
Here's a secret thing that you should do, but you don't technically have to.
But you don't have to. You could.
So you can fuck this person over.
And then they get really pissed when people don't tip.
And they have a shitty day. Yeah.
And it's dude, that's so fucked up.
I mean, I worked delivering pizza, and there was plenty of people who didn't tip anything.
But like, it's such a weird thing.
And that was one where I drove to their house.
Yeah.
And I made $4 an hour.
Yeah, because you're making fucking less than minimum wage because that's allowed because you get. How is that allowed because you get tips? Like, that's so stupid. Dude, we're getting way into financials and stuff, but it's weird because I've been tipped a few times on my job doing carpentry work.
That's weird. That's really
because
weird.
the work that we do is expensive. We're going into residential houses and like redoing cabinets, redoing all this stuff.
And your company pays you enough to do
and they
that.
and they charge the customer every time we're there like hourly.
Really? I didn't know it was hourly.
I don't know exactly what they charge, but they charge like a base rate, and then if we have to come back, it's like all this. So they have to pay this a large amount. And then there was a couple. This happened like 2 months into my job. Like I was like, whoa, this is gonna be the normal. It hasn't happened since.
Okay.
But this really nice couple went into their house. We were just finishing up some crown work, trying to finish up their house. Put on handles because they had ordered them in. And then they like, since I was new, they knew the guy who did it. They like asked what my name was. And then at the end of the day, when we were packing up, he handed us both envelopes and said, hey, thank you so much for your job. It looks great.
Huh.
And then like we get in the truck and I open it, it's like $30.
That's not bad.
And it's like, dude, I'm already making and you've already paid for it.
Yeah.
And that's just like this cool.
Weird.
Like, I think it's just like an extra appreciation for good work, I
guess.
guess.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it's like not expected.
I mean, it's cool that they do that, but
It's
it's
super
weird.
cool because I was like, dude, I'm going to buy beer with this. Because it's free money, dude.
Yeah.
Because I made my daily wage, but it's just tipping is such a weird thing. And
Well, and there's
so many different sides of it. Like, obviously, the servers and the people that live on tips need it. But then, like, there's a lot of people that hate tipping. And like, there's so many different sides of it.
Have you ever tipped a hotel maid?
Whoa. I didn't even think about that. I'm sure they make less than...
Well, I didn't.
Are you supposed to?
I didn't know that, but a lot of people do.
What do you mean? Like, do you leave
You
money?
leave money in the room at the end of the shift, and it's like I've never done it.
I've never done. I see. That's one thing I didn't know about it.
I don't know
So do you
how
think
normal that
people-
is, but I know a lot of people do.
Going back to not knowing, do you think people from different countries, when they come over to America and they go to restaurants and they're not used to tipping, do you think they tip?
Maybe not.
I mean, obviously, when they get that bill, there's that tip option, but
yeah,
they might just go zero. But it's because they don't know, and it's part of their culture to not tip, and but then as the server, they say, oh, they were assholes, but they don't know.
Yeah, I mean that might be a big part of it. Yeah,
that's the weird part. It's like the ignorance.
But it's stupid that we do it. Like, we obviously have to because they're not making enough, but it's dumb that that's even a set.
Yeah. Like, why...
The idea that a company can pay someone less because people
Because
have the option to give you money is insane.
And people live off of tips, which is so stupid.
I wonder how much strippers make hourly.
Yeah, because you think they would have to legally make something hourly. But I'm guessing it's probably less than servers because they're fully on tips. But then strippers are... But that's one of those things where it's like known. You can't just watch for free.
You have to, yeah. Which, again,
But
you and I have never been.
But what if you're in the back? I feel like it's the people in front that tip.
I mean, but also there's...
But then there's... I think... I just know this from movies. People that walk around.
The wandering ones, yeah. Wandering.
They wander around to tables, but it's like, what if I don't...
The private dance or the... what's it called? Lap dance.
But then it's like, I don't want that. But then you feel obligated... We've never been to a strip club.
No, because we said we would for the podcast.
Yeah, okay. We said that on an episode that I wasn't recording.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, so maybe we'll bring it up now. We've never been to a strip club.
And I think it'd be funny to go together and see what the buzz is about.
We're going to go to a strip club together, see what it is, talk about it on the pod.
We will.
Tell about our experience.
We'll bring some cash.
Man, I don't want to do it.
No, well...
But I will do it for the pod.
Well,
this is so
I'm
stupid.
interested
for the
in...
4 people that listen to this, I'll do it for you guys, but I won't do it for my personal.
Which they're not asking us to. But I'm saying I want to just see what it is and see how you and I discuss it. And but my thing is I definitely don't want a private dance. I don't want a lap dance.
I think we just go in and just keep it low key and just.
We will throw money.
Stay up to Aren't they open till like 4 or 5 in the
Yeah,
morning?
they're past bar close.
Because a lot of strip clubs are BYOB, so they're allowed to because they're not bars.
Oh,
I think a lot of them are bring your own alcohol,
weird.
which is weird. I don't get that. It's going to be a very weird experience. I don't know when we're going to do it, but we will do it. I just don't know how to act when I'm in there. I feel like I'm going to be uncomfortable the entire...
I don't know what I can... Like, obviously, you can't touch the dancers, but, like, I'd be worried about touching anything.
Yeah, I'm going to feel uncomfortable the entire time. And, like, the tough part is like...
I'm interested...
One of my favorite things in one-on-one intimate moments is when people strip.
Yeah, naked people. Great.
Well, like... I love the act of stripping.
Yeah.
But only in that one-on-one...
Where they want you.
They want you, and then they
yeah.
come to you, and then you do the stuff, and then it's mutual.
The idea of it purely being on stage.
Especially if you do like a private dance, they do it private one-on-one, but you still aren't allowed to touch. There's still a guy standing in the corner. No touching. It's like you're in prison.
Oh, think how weird it is to be
And then you're just turned on, and then you have to go home.
Imagine being a security guard at a strip club where you just...
No touching.
But you...
Is that what they say?
Probably. But
it's like prison.
But like your job is watching guys get...
Turned on.
Yeah.
Like, do people get turned on?
I would
assume
think
so.
That's the point.
And at strip clubs, I don't even know. Do they get 100% naked? And then
I don't know.
Like they finish their set and then they're naked and then they walk off?
I don't know.
I don't know how.
I honestly
this is
do
gonna
not
be
know.
very. Is it going to be weird if we go into the strip club with a notebook? I mean, right? You know what I like? I kind of want to. Just to like jot down notes and be like, hey, I learned this. Hey, I learned this. Never come back.
Answer our questions. I would like to write a list of questions and then write the answer.
It'd be so cool to get like a cool dancer and be like, hey, can we ask you a few questions? We're just journalists.
If we give them money, probably.
Yeah, be like, hey, can we get a private dance together? But you don't have to dance.
We just want to ask.
And we just want to ask you some questions.
I bet we could do that.
I bet they would get freaked out. They go, hey, are you the government or are you feds? We don't look feds.
No, and I'm sure people ask for much weirder shit.
I've heard stories of people that like hire prostitutes and hire just to like hold them
hair. Yeah, exactly.
Just because they're so lonely, and it's like
I bet that kind of stuff happens at strip clubs too.
Yeah, that would make sense because you're going to get that, but you're paying so much money for that, and you can't touch them back, and it's a fake intimacy.
Because like honestly, if we can get like
I would love to get questions. I would love to pay money.
But like if we do that, I'm like, you have to be like completely covered. I don't want like your tits to be out while we're having a conversation with me and my best friend.
The problem is they walk around in like bikinis, right?
Which that I could at least discuss. But I don't.
Yeah, can you put on a cardigan real quick? We have some serious questions to ask. How much do you make hourly while you're wearing a cardigan?
Yeah, like can we ask that? Is that a rude question? I don't know.
I think it might be, but we're also tipping them.
Yeah, we'll give them a good tip.
We'll give them a good tip, but I think you got to tip before they do the service, which is weird. I think strip clubs are the opposite. You give them money beforehand.
Probably opposite. Oh, versus
tipping at the end.
Prostitutes.
But then you probably have to tip at the end.
Great, you don't tip a prostitute; you pay them. But also, like if you get a private dance, you're not tipping them; you're paying them for it.
Yeah, but then you're probably tipping them during it.
Probably.
It's probably a double pay. Double taxation without representation.
Probably, yeah. So if we just like each give them like a 20?
And I don't think we're allowed to go in together as a private dance unless we give them enough.
I mean, I
don't know how much private dances are.
There's lap dances where you like it's just at a table, I think. So that we could be like, hey, do you want to sit down and like have a drink and like?
They probably can't. I wonder if they're allowed to.
I don't know how loose it is.
It depends on where we go. Like, I'm so curious, and I don't want it, but I would love to do it. Like, hey, if we give you money for a lap dance, will you just sit down and have a beer with us?
And like, we can ask you some stuff and write it down. I bet.
If she's a cool enough girl.
But
I don't know if that's allowed because they're like run under like management and a management. But like, we're giving her money.
I mean, I think that's all you have to do. Yeah. And then we can just like ask questions because it'd be more fun to get them from a person than like Google them just to know.
No, we have to have, and then we can talk about on the pod. Like that's gonna be so.
Our stripper update.
God, I don't want to do it.
Now I do that. We're gonna do all of this.
Yeah, we're gonna be like the fucking, and people are gonna be looking at us like, what a fucking nerd.
Yeah.
Why don't you get your money and fucking get your dick hard? Like, I don't know.
And just sit there. Yeah.
All right, Joe.
Well, that's also something I'm curious about. Will my dick get hard?
And, dude, is everyone in the crowd turned on?
I think so.
And they're just mutually sitting at a table, turned on, and then you don't do anything about it, and then you get blue balls, and then use the memory of it?
I have no idea.
Do you think, this is a gross question, but do you think in like the men's restroom jerking?
Oh, I was going to say the parking lot.
Parking lot, but the men's restroom, where it's just, they had to release it.
I bet. I mean, it'd be like watching porn for fun.
That's basically what it is.
I think so, yeah.
Oh man, I'm
intrigued
It's gonna be
by it.
weird, especially together, especially because it's gonna be a freaking popping our cherries.
Yeah, we drive up together.
Oh my god, we're gonna dress nice because you gotta.
I don't want to dress shitty.
No,
Yeah.
because you can't. You gotta dress decently. Like you gotta dress like you're going out to the club or going out to the.
Probably,
we don't go out to
right?
clubs, but
Right, yeah,
we
we
dress out like you're going out for the night. Dress kind of nice, you know.
Okay, yeah.
I'll gel my hair maybe because you can't wear a beanie at a strip club.
You probably could.
You probably can. I feel like strip clubs they don't care what
Do you think
wear.
they're muggy? Do you think they're like warm and muggy?
Men moist.
Yeah, I bet.
I bet strip clubs are moist.
Yeah.
And that's the name of our podcast. Moist Monday. Dude, there's going to be, thinking about this in the future, there's going to be a strip club episode.
I'm intrigued by it.
I'm intrigued by it too, and I don't want to do it, but I do want to do it. It's going to be really fascinating. It's going to be really fun. I'm going to learn a lot, and I'm never going to want to do it again, probably. What if we fall in love with strip clubs?
I don't see.
I don't see us. I don't see that possible.
Because like just the idea of it, like I get it. Actually, I don't. I don't get it. I don't get the appeal.
No, I don't. See, that's why I've never gone.
Yeah,
I'm almost in. I'm in my upper 20s, and I've never gone. And that was like the thing when you were younger. Oh, we're going to the strip club.
I've been to.
I've heard there's really good food trucks outside of some of the strip
No,
clubs.
I've told you that because no,
Some of my coworkers have told me.
Oh, really? No.
There's really like the best. What's that?
Shawarma.
What's those? Gyros.
Euro. Yeah,
Euro.
there's
The best euros this guy's ever had was outside of a strip club.
I think I told you that.
No, this was a coworker of mine that also told me it.
Because also the only time I've ever been to a strip club, it was my buddy's like last day in Des Moines.
Oh, so you've actually been?
No. So we went, and it turns out it was me, him, another friend, and this other girl who he was friends with. The girl left her wallet in the Uber, so she couldn't get in the strip club. I'm like, I'll just hang out outside with you because I was like, I don't want to go in there. Yeah. And then so she never wanted, so I bought her a euro, and we sat on the curb outside the strip club.
And it was delicious?
It was fucking great.
That's so crazy.
No, and I'm hoping it's still parked outside for when you and I go, although I don't remember which one it is, but I think that would
I think
be
it's
fun.
one of the big ones in our area.
Because we have like two bigger ones.
Yeah, I think it's one of those. And I think we got to go to one of the more established. We don't want to go to a shitty one. If we're going to do it, let's do it good.
If we want to talk to somebody about like what it's like there, I would rather go to a nice, or not even nicer, but just established.
Bigger established one. That's going to be freaking weird. But that will be a future episode. Thanks for listening to the Moist Monday podcast. We went everywhere on this episode. A lot of fun. Hey guys, follow us on social media. We got an Instagram. We got a TikTok.
At Moist Monday Podcast, we have a Gmail.
Yeah, send us an email. No one sent us an email yet. And it's driving me nuts.
At moistmondaypodcast@gmail.com.
There's like a little character right there.
I heard that, yeah.
Kind of like a crazy guy.
There you go. Yeah.
But send us an email. We really appreciate it. I just want feedback. Rate us on the podcast apps. I know you can rate us on Spotify. That's how I listen to it.
iTunes,
Yeah. Give us 5 stars. And if not, tell us why.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. Give us
They say, these guys suck.
I would love to hear that at this point. Just any feedback.
Yeah, literally. We've heard nothing.
Nothing.
I mean, we've got a couple comments that say like, hey,
Here
this
and there.
episode is really relatable and like
Which awesome.
which was I was like,
so pumped.
oh, what the fuck?
Someone listened.
Someone actually not only did they listen, but they left a paragraph comment. And I was like,
Really
we made
appreciate
it.
it.
We made it. Thank you so much. But this has been the Moist Monday podcast. I'm Robert. That's Jacob.
Happy Moist Monday, everybody.
Happy Moist Monday.
Love you, bud.
Cheers.
The Moist Boys. I love that. I'll fucking get that tattooed on me. I don't give a shit.
I told you I did that on Friday. I put it in the description of a video.
The Moist. Oh,
The
okay.
Moist Boys. But now I'm going to start.
No, that's us now. Yeah, we're the Moist, Boys.
It's like kind of hard to say.
Moist Boys.
The Moist Boys.
Yeah, you want to say Moist Boys.
Moist Boys.
I fucking love that.